So we're starting to build our project to make appointments, and usually I like to start with database schema, so tables, columns, relationships, and all of that. And here's what I've come up with in my Sublime Text or any text editor. So to make appointments, we need clients and employees, right? So company would have a lot of employees, like in hair salon or in auto repair shop and whatever, they have employees. And they have services. So this would be the typical small schema. So service would be like hair cutting, nail polishing, whatever, and they would have the price. Then employees would have name, photo, email, phone number, and services belongs to menu with this table. Then clients will have just name, phone, and email. And from all of that, we could gather appointments. So client, employee, time, comments. Actually, I'll add one more. One more is price, agreed price, which may be different from service price or whatever. It could be discounted or something like that. Right, and also services with belongs to many. And we will start with admin panel for that. So based on QuickAdminPanel, with those two modules I will show you in a bit. But here's the main structure of the project of the database. Now let's go to generate admin panel. I click here create new panel and appointments system, for example. System Laravel 6.0, we leave everything as default except for theme. I like core UI based on Bootstrap 4, and let's create a new panel. Okay, it's been generated, and meanwhile we need to install one module for all the CRUDs. It's called Ajax Data Tables. It's actually the most popular one at the moment. So we install that. It will help us to have all the tables, all the data tables loaded by Ajax, which makes better performance. So it doesn't load all the tables. For example, if you have a lot of clients or a lot of appointments, it will show only one page as you need. Right, and now let's go to menus and let's generate our CRUDs as menu items. So start with services. New CRUD, services, and field would be service name as a text. So here are types of fields, but we default to text, column name, everything is default, validation required, save. Then service price, we have a separate type money, so price. Optional, it should be optional, maybe for some of the hair salons it's optional, and we generate that CRUD, that menu item. Next one would be employees. Okay, so employees, right, name, text name, which is required, then photo field. Actually, let's leave that to the end. So email is a separate text field type, so email is optional. Phone number will be optional too. And then we add photo. Photo is a separate field type called photo, and we use Spotty Media Library for that to upload all the files. So photo, optional, yep. And then services. We have belongs to many relationship. So relationships we have belongs to or belongs to many with services. So every employee may have several services. Optional. And the model to relationship is service, and field to show in the list in the table is services name. So by default, the relationship will be generated as employee.service ID to services. Actually, in this case, belongs to many. It will be a pivot table employee service, and this is the field that means only what to show in the data table. I guess that's it for employees. Right, so we save that. While it's being generated in the background, we can create more stuff. We can go on. So clients is pretty simple. Clients. Then we have client name, which is actually, let's make it all optional. Maybe we will know only phone number of a client or email or something like that. So name, phone, optional, and email, which is field type email, optional. Right, okay, so we've generated the clients, and for now we don't need anything else. And now we can get to appointments. Or actually, I forgot the Ajax data tables everywhere. So let's get back to services, and in more options there is a checkbox, use Ajax data tables. We update that, we save CRUD. Right, same for employees and the clients. Employees use Ajax. So that, and clients also. Clients options Ajax. Right. Meanwhile, it's being generated here in the background. You can see that, but we shouldn't bother about that. At some point, it will catch up. And now we need appointments. So create CRUD menu item appointments. Appointments. Right, and here it is a little more complicated. So we need a client. So it belongs to relationship with a client. And it is required. Model is clients. Name. Then we need belongs to relationship with employee, but this might be optional because maybe there's no particular employee to service. So employee is optional, but we need to define the model. Yeah, so as you can see, it's generated already, so no loading there. Start time and finish time. For that we have time fields, DateTimePicker. So start time, optional. No, it is not optional. It is required. And finish time, let it be also required. Finish time required. Save. Then we have price. So price would be type money. Price also optional. Comments. For comments it would be text area. Text area, comments also optional. And finally services. So services will be belongs to menu relationship to services, which is also optional, to model services and field name. We save that and we will have a new CRUD. So the only thing left to do from admin panel point of view is to generate the calendar for appointments. I will do that a little further. For now, I want to show you the preview, what we have here, what we've generated. So after it's been done, I will click preview panel. For now it's disabled. I will preview panel and see what we've got here. Okay, here we go. I click preview panel. It has been deployed actually to our server. So it's been composed, installed, it doesn't migrate and all of that, and it will show you the credentials that we can log in and create our appointments. Okay, here we go, our credentials. We can continue, and we are assigned dummy URL, and we can log in as admin and have services, employees, clients, and appointments. So for example, service, we add haircut with price of 10. For example, $10 or whatever is the currency. Then we add employee with form filler and service haircut. Finally, we have clients, not finally, but clients with name, phone, and email. And finally, we have appointments. To add appointment, also form filler, start time, for example, this, and finish time, this, for example, and services should be haircut with price 20. Yeah, so we have our tables, data tables, services, employees, clients, and appointments, and next step is to create a calendar from that. Before the calendar, there's one more thing I have forgotten, is to add Ajax data tables to appointments as well. So save the CRUD, and then we go to modules, and one of the modules is called System Calendar. This one, System Calendar, and it creates a new menu item in generator called Calendar Sources. So in one calendar, we can add as many sources as we want, and one source is basically one CRUD. So what we need is calendar of appointments. So we add appointments, start time, and then client. Actually, let's make it all optional, and let's add only comments field. to here. Later we will customize that. I will show you how it works now. So it generates the calendar now, and again we will preview the panel, deploy it again. So clicking preview panel, it will deploy again, running Composer. This time it will be much faster, so we can continue to log in. And here we have calendar. It will be empty for now. We're using FullCalendar JavaScript library, FullCalendar.io. So now if we add appointment, actually we need to go through that again because it reseeded the database. So service, let's just run through dummy data. Employees, so add new employee with service, whatever. Clients, one new client. And one random appointment, and I will show how it looks in calendar. So start time, for example this one, and finish time. Services, this one. We save, and then let's go to the calendar. Calendar now contains the record, and if you click that, it goes to edit the appointment. So this is exactly how system calendar works by default, but we will customize that for it to be weekly, to show proper time, to show client name, or something like that. But this is exactly where it ends with generated code. So QuickAdminPanel did the job for database schema, migrations, menu items, relationships, roles permissions, calendar, and now we will download the code and continue with PHP Storm and with custom code. So we click download the code, or actually I will continue with GitHub. So I will push to GitHub. I've created an empty repository here. In my account, I choose the repository called Laravel Appointments, which is empty at the moment. And we will push that. And if we refresh the repository page, which is this one, for now it's empty, but it usually takes like 10 seconds or 15 seconds for the push to appear. We refresh that again. And there we go, we have the code, and now I will clone it down to my local machine. I will prepare a folder. I use Laravel Homestead for that, so I will prepare a folder, and in my terminal we'll clone it down. Okay, so we go clone HTTPS, and do git clone to the same folder. It will clone the code, and that's outside the homestead, and inside the homestead we do check what is inside. What we need is copy.env.example with credentials. It's default laravel.env.example, so we need to customize that. So database would be Q3 in my local machine, homestead secret, and URL would be q3.test. I've set it up on my homestead, q3.test. We close it and do Composer install. Okay, Composer install is finished. We need to do key generate for .env, and we need to do artisan migrate seed. Artisan migrate, I will do migrate fresh, because there is some dummy data in my database already. Fresh seed, and it will seed everything we need for now. And let's launch in the browser q3.test. Come on. Yep, and we see the same thing as we did in online preview. Let's check if it works, and then we will open PHP Storm. So password. Yep, it works. Appointments, calendar should be empty, but it works. Now let's continue in PHP Storm. Okay, part 2 of this video. I'm in the office in a different environment now, and we go coding now. So in PHP Storm, we will build more functionality to our appointment system, and we start with customizing this field. To create an appointment, there's DateTimePicker. Default DateTimePicker, this one, Bootstrap DateTimePicker with a lot of options. This one, and we need to add some parameters here, actually one parameter. What we need here, well, two things. First is to get rid of those minutes intervals of 5 minutes. We will stick to 15 minutes, or you can customize it to 30 because it's more common in appointment systems. And also we need to get rid of seconds. We don't care about those seconds. We need appointments by hour and intervals of 15 minutes. So to do that, we go to our blade file, create blade file, and this is the class that we care about. Class datetime triggers the datetime in our main.js file. It's a simple jQuery, no fancy Vue.js or any other framework. This is the datetime on every class of datetime. It triggers datetime with format, and we need to add another parameter called stepping, and stepping will be 15 minutes, and then we get rid of seconds. So this is two things we needed to do, and we refresh the page, and let's see how it looks now. Looks better. Start time is 45 minutes, and we choose intervals of 0 or something like that, no seconds I mean, and for example appointment is to 9:30, much easier to add. And let's see what error we have now. Now we will have error in Laravel in the backend, and I will show you how to get rid of it. So this is the validation error. Start time doesn't match the format, and the format is generated by our QuickAdminPanel in validation. So if we go to appointments controller, there is a store appointment request form request file, which looks like this. We require that date format is date format and time format, and it's easily configurable. That's the part that we are good at with QuickAdminPanel, a lot of configuration options. So we have panel time format, and if we go to config/panel, we have some options here, and we should get rid of that time format, and it should all work well. So now if we try to save again, it's okay, and we have start time and finish time without any seconds I mean, and in intervals that we care about. And it will also work in edit form as well, because we edited the main JavaScript, which is loaded for every form. So let's try to edit and see if it still works. Okay, 8:15, 9:45, update, and we're good. So now we have DateTimePicker, much more convenient to work with. Okay, we have appointment system in Laravel with calendar based on FullCalendar JavaScript library, and we need to customize that calendar. So make it weekly for better viewing of appointments and change some formatting here. But to do that, we need some seeding data. So I won't add services and employees manually for every testing in this video. Instead, we will write seeds for that. So dummy data, which would fill up the calendar, and then we will be able to customize that. So we have services, employees, clients, and appointments. So we need 4 seeders basically. And we do have some seeders already for this system generated by QuickAdminPanel. So we have main database seeder for roles and permissions basically to create admin user. And in addition to that, we will need 4 seeders here, and also we will create factories because we will seed some fake data. And let's start with services. For services, we need 2 fields, name and price. So this was my dummy entry, but to create a seed, we do PHP artisan make seeder services table seeder. Okay, created successfully. And here we will write factory, services, service class 10 records, create. I think this is the syntax. Right, and for that we need to create a factory. What factories we have? Only user factory. So we just do file save as to service factory. Service factory, and we just added some stuff. So define service class. Actually, I prefer this one. So so we don't need that one. Let's get rid of some unimportant things. So service class, and name of the service would be faker name, and actually faker word maybe. And price would be random number from 10 to 99, let's say 10 to 99, and that's it. So we define the faker and the service factory. So we use a library called faker to generate a lot of stuff, and we will use that little more later. So we have service factory, which would be called in service create. And let's try it out, test it out. Let's run migrate fresh seeds. Design migrate fresh, so it would be deleting all the database and reseeding it again. And let's see if our seeder, actually we haven't called it yet. So, okay, in database seeder we need to add that. So services table seeder class. And now let's run that, migrate fresh seed. And let's see if it's successful. Yep, we have services table seeder, and if we go to web now and refresh the services page, it should show something. Yep, 10 records with dummy service names, dummy words with dummy prices. Great, now let's move on to employees. With employees we have some more fields. So name, email, phone, photo. Photo is relevant, and services is relevant actually in our case. So we go to service factory, again save as, to employee factory, okay, we use employee, then edit that, and what do we need? Name, email, phone. So name would be name, email would be faker email, yep, and phone would be faker, what do we have here? Phone number. Great. So we don't need to randomize anything, it will be done for us. And then we generate another seeder. So make seeder employees table seeder, created successfully, and we customize that to do factory employee class. Let's put it 5 records and create. Right, so 5 employees will be created. Okay, now let's run the third make seeder and have, no, actually the third clients table seeder. So clients table seeder is created. Yep, clients table seeder. So same, let's just copy paste factory. We have 10 clients and let's create 10 appointments. So 10 clients, create, and for the factory we have file save as. It will be pretty similar to employee factory. So client factory would be, what fields do we have in clients? Probably similar name, email, or something. Name, phone, and email. Yeah, actually it's identical. I probably should have used users table for that, but yeah, let's keep it simple now. So so for client factory we have client class, faker. Actually, let's make it more consistent. So client class here. Okay, and final seeder would be appointments. That would be a little more complicated. Appointments table seeder. And for appointment factory we have some more data. So appointment factory. And what do we have for appointments? If we go to the table, we should probably have client, then employee, start and finish time, actually price. Well, we could put price as well. So appointment factory, so appointment class, instead do this, right, and then client ID. There are multiple ways how you can fake or randomize the client. For now I will stick to the logic that we created 5 clients already, so probably it's pretty safe to have a number random 1 to 5, which is one of the IDs of the client. We can go more complicated and do like client, actually let's do it, client in random order, first ID, something like that, and then employee ID, same employee, first ID, then we have start time, which would be now, to add hours, for example, add hours, and then we randomize hours, like 1 hour from now until, like, I don't know, 100 hours from now. And we need format here. Format would be the same as we do with DatePicker, which in our case is this one. So date and hours and minutes. So this finish time would be, actually that's an interesting part. So finish time would be related to start time, right? So we need to make that variable. Start time equals this. Then we have start time. This. So this part will be a variable. So this is a carbon object, and here we have formatting, and then we have finish time, add hours from 1 to 2, so 1 or 2 hours appointment, start time actually. Start time, add hours, and then formatting. So this should probably work, and we need to call it out in a seeder. So we do have a seeder, appointments table seeder, which will have factory appointment class, 10 appointments, and create. Right, so we should be good, and let's try to run it all. So migrate fresh seed again. So we will see what it has generated, if it succeeds first. Services table, of course, we haven't added it to database seeder. So we have services table class, then we have employees table seeder class, then we have clients table seeder class, and we have appointments table seeder class. We're running it again. Fingers crossed, it's successful. Now let's get to our tables and let's see what we have here. Services, we've already seen that. Employees, 5 employees with fake data. Then clients should be 10 fake clients, as you can see, and appointments. This is the most important part. What do we have in appointments? Oh, 1 minute. That's interesting. What added? Well, it's great, but all right, because now currently it's the time 9:01 for me AM. Let's make a little change. So appointments table seeder, faker for appointments, appointment factory. So this one. So this, and format I would do this. So only hour and then 0 minutes. And this should be okay now. And let's try to launch it again. So I'm getting just the hours and then faking the minutes to be always 0, basically. And if we refresh now, appointments table, yep, we have 0, 0, but then finish time is wrong. Right, okay. Same thing here. Interesting. Well, yeah, let's do the same thing here. There are multiple ways how we could handle it, and it doesn't have to be 0, but for faking data, for testing, it would be okay. So it should be now, yep, 23 to 0, 14 to 16, so 1 or 2 hour appointments, which is great. And now how our calendar looks like. So we have a lot of appointments to upcoming week, but we have some dummy data here. It should be 10 appointments, so 2, 3, 4, 5, yep, it's 10. And how does it look like in the code? So we have calendar blade, I think. Calendar blade, this one, I think. Yep, so this is the script for FullCalendar. We just populate the events, kind of a variable in JavaScript, and put that as events. And if we go to the source code in HTML, this is how it looks. So it's a JSON of title and start. And now we need to add more options in calendar to make it more readable with clients data, with different date format and stuff like that. And we will do that in the next part. In this part of the video, we will customize the calendar for our appointments. As you can see now, it's a FullCalendar JavaScript library with some unknown really and unclear data. So what is 2P, who is the client here, who is the employee here, and we will change some things. So by default, we have calendar blade, which just loads FullCalendar. And by the way, it's an older version of FullCalendar, so the latest version is version 4, and I will base everything on version 3 docs because we generated the calendar with QuickAdminPanel and it still uses older version, but it's still very good and there's no really point to upgrade currently. So FullCalendar has the events and we will add additional parameter. Let me find it. Yep. Default view, and this is called agenda week. So if we add this, let's format it automatically with PHP Storm. That was Command L, by the way. So agenda week, and just from that one parameter, we should see the difference now. Loading. Yep, and as you can see now, we see week, and we see clearly 2:00, 7:00 p.m. and next week is pretty clear the time. Now we need to add the title of who is the client and who is the employee here. And we do that by going to our controller. We have controller system calendar controller, which actually we need to change somewhat because system calendar again is from QuickAdminPanel and it generates calendar from a lot of sources. In our case, it's much more simple. So we have one source, appointment, and we just need to do that. So we do appointments with client and employee as a relationship, get, right? And then for each appointments as, no, actually this for each is even irrelevant, so we will, for each appointments as appointment. If appointment start time, it may be empty for some reason. If not start time, then we continue. And then we add the events. So this will be the title, which in our case would be appointment client name dot this. So appointment employee name. Yeah, let's try that. Start time is the same, so instead of quote field value is appointment start time. And then for URL to edit the appointment, we have admin appointments edit with appointment ID. That should work, and then we can get rid of sources here. Events needed here. Yeah, that's it. So let's see what we have now. Refresh the page. Hope no error there. Undefined variable. Great. Laravel 6 error page. I like that ignition. Oh, of course, this typo. Sorry. Refresh again. Yep, and we have the calendar of client and employee. So if we go to next week, now it's pretty clear who does what, and if we click edit, it probably clicks, yep, you see down below the URL is appointments/7/edit, and we land on specifically that appointment to edit. So basically that's it. Inside of this video, we've created an appointment database for employees, clients, and services. You can customize that however you want with FullCalendar, more options, set up appointments in different time, opening times, whatever you want. So this project is kind of finished at this stage. I will put that up on GitHub for you, and you can customize it however you want. I hope you learned something in this video, and see you guys in other videos.